Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, coming at you tonight. It's actually in the wee hour of the morning of Friday of Saturday morning, and you guys know I always get these out before I turn in. Been a little bit of a crazy week, so if you are new, well, you'll notice there's a QR code that just popped up on the right hand corner of your screen. Just take your phone, point to that QR code, and that'll direct you over to my link tree. If you're having any trouble getting over there, just go to Believe, Believe, Achieve.com. That'll get you over to my link tree. The two things you're definitely going to want to check out, there's lots of good stuff there. But the first thing is John's Daily National Day video. Every single day, I basically take the day and I tell you what it is, and I video a short little thing, usually about 30 seconds to a minute. Definitely going to want to check that out. And also JCM Academy TikTok. Lots of great stuff for you to check out. So, incidentally, today was National Julienne Fries Day. I went to Jigs at a local bar not too far from me here, actually in Butler, and it was actually pretty good. I had julienne fries. They weren't exactly julienne fries, but they were pretty thin, not as thin as julienne fries, but it was the thinnest that I could get in this area here. And then I had a small wrap, which was a corned beef wrap, which was really good too. And then I went over to Dairy Queen and got a small little ice cream. So definitely was a great day and a good evening. So you know how we work this. Every single Friday we end. Tomorrow we start with a brand new master topic and we go through the week. So if you're coming back, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. It's so great to have you here with me, following me and watching me give you all such great content. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into the master topic, shall we? There it is. Why some people don't want to succeed. Now, this might be driving you a little crazy. Like, what do you mean people don't want to succeed? Well, we talked about one of the major reasons that people don't want to succeed, and that has to do with their ego. Yeah, their ego. So, egos get created based on your beliefs, based on what you hear from others, but it really an ego that's bloated is not healthy, because what happens is it makes you think that you're better than everyone else. And although you may be good, it's not good to let that get to your head, because when it gets to your head, you miss potential opportunities. You miss the ability to grow and become a better version of yourself. I mean, that's really the truthful reason. But I have met a few people, not to name them by name, obviously, for security and anonymity reasons. I'm not going to do that. But this one person that I met was probably a little bit younger than me. I would say maybe 10, 15 years younger than me. And he had this chip on his shoulder. He was a financial person and just had this real chip on his shoulder. He lived very close to me, and every time he was around, he would just always like knock me over. He was always in a rush. Now, he didn't mean to knock me over, but like he would just always be like kind of knocking. He was like always in a rush. Like he was more important. He was late, and everyone else needed to move out of his way. So later on, I got to become friends with him for a short term, and I realized that it's his ego that keeps him on top of the world. The thing is, a lot of people seem to like him for that arrogance. Now, I think people grow tired of it, but I remember one thing he said to me. He says, John, he says, people are a waste of time. And I didn't know what to say to him. I just kind of paused and I said, people are a waste of time? He said, yeah. He said, they're a waste of time. He goes, if they're not making me money or I'm making them money and they're a client of mine, he says, they're a waste of my time. Oh, I remember just before Thanksgiving holiday, he was always very close minded, and I wanted to get him to open up a little bit. So I did this kind of little comedy routine while we were playing pool. And when I did this routine, people always laugh or they always open up. And when I got to the last one, he goes, John, so, what's your point? I said, what? He goes, what's your point? He said, what's your point for all this nonsense? And I said, well, without giving his name, I said, Usually when I do this, most people open up and they share. He goes, "Well, I'm not that kind of person, so let's move on." And I didn't know what to say. I then remember about a week or two later, we were finishing up pool, and I seen how you doing. Again, I'm not going to say his name. And he goes, "Oh," he goes, "work is hell right now." I said, "Well, may I ask you why?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, I can tell you." He's like, I got to get these numbers up. If I don't get my quote up by the end of the week, I'm going to miss this really big bonus check." I said, "Well, are you close?" He says, "No." He's like, I'm not even halfway there." He's like, "And if I miss this bonus check," he's like, "I'm really counting on this check." And the interesting thing about him was that I got to know him as a person. I got to know him without that jacket of armor on him. But he puts that jacket of armor on him every day because he has to pretend to be someone he's not. He puts this big ego up because really he comes up like this, tough lion or really tough bear or animal that's ready to defend, real type A personality, very alpha male. But the truth of the matter is, he's really not that alpha. He's really not that protective. He's really not that, let's say, rough or even uh, demanding or controlling. And so he puts that ego out there so people don't get close to him. And I learned this. We later kind of grew apart. And although it made me a little sad, I realized that the one thing I can't do, I can't change people. And I also realized that maybe someday he would wake up. I used to wish many years ago, because we were friends probably over 5, 6 years ago. That's when we stopped being friends. And he moved out of my neighborhood. And he just had this like jerk mentality, one that said, "I'm better than everybody." And he put this big ego out there so nobody would even come close. You know what it reminds me of? If you ever read the book or saw the movie, The Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road, Dorothy, and really the wizard was behind the scenes, right? And the wizard was really small, was a short man, and the dog Toto had gone by the curtain, and he was kind of playing with the curtain, and he pulled the curtain away and exposed the real truth of this man. And when he did that, and he was doing all these things, and he was using all these effects, and he was using all these contraptions to try to scare people and show how much more powerful he was. When the dog exposed him for the truth that he was, it like just shocked everybody. But then he had to take a step back and say, "You know what? I guess I got to help you." Now, this friend of mine, he didn't care about other people. He just cared about himself. And when other people showed up and they made his life challenging, he'd curse them out. He'd say they're not in his class. He would say all these things. But you know the thing that really bent me out of shape with him? Um, he was in finances, he still is, and he had these interns working for him, which was great. But whenever the interns would do something great, and he'd be at this meeting with the head boss, he goes, when they said, "Well, you did a great job," he said, "Well, of course, I graduated from Fordham. What would you expect?" And so, they didn't say much to that. Well, yeah, that's great. But then when the interns would mess up, he would then go back and say, "Well, I didn't do that. That was Eric or that was Jeff that did that. It's just one of the interns." And it's funny how he threw them under the bus when they did something wrong. But when he did something right, he didn't want to give them any value. And I think that is just terrible. So his ego got really high. And if you asked him to do something and he couldn't do it, he would just tell you he's busy, he's above you. I have people that do that for me. He was just this BSer pretty much. How are you there? Yeah. So the reason people don't want to succeed, thanks for tuning in. It's a very interesting thing. It doesn't happen a lot, but we've been talking about this all week. It's mostly because of people's egos. The ego gets in the way. It also happens because of a psychological change. It's not that the people don't want to succeed, but they get conditioned. And so somebody in the world says something like, you're never going to do this. You're never going to make money. You're never going to get married. You're never going to have a successful business. You're never going to have this. You're never going to grow. You're never going to lose weight. You're never going to do anything. And so this becomes like a daily diet for them. And then what happens is they process it, don't realize that they're really digesting it. And now they just spit it up every single day and don't realize why they're acting that way. And so that's a big reason. The other reason is that one is the people alongside, right? That's the one reason, is that people are going to they're basically going to put people in a way that, let's say someone's going to lower you. So if you are great at something and somebody's going to demean you, well, then that's a reason why you may not want to succeed, because you don't realize, you don't believe, right? I always say you have to believe before you can achieve. Well, there's a lot of people in this world that have been told by other people that they can't succeed. And it's total BS. But this goes back to Henry Ford. If you believe that you can do something, you're right. And if you believe you can't, you're also right. The other reason why people don't want to succeed in life, they've tried so many times and they're tired and they just don't have the willpower. The reason they don't have the willpower is because their why is not loud enough. If you're not reaching your goals, I don't care if you're not skilled yet, you'll get the skills, you'll get the resources. If you don't believe enough in yourself, you'll never succeed. So people try to do something, but their why is not loud enough. And if their why is not loud enough, they shut down like that. So definitely go through some of the other videos we've been talking about all week. But the biggest one I want to share with you is keep your ego in check. Nobody likes somebody that has a big ego, and you can still rule very well. I always say you can rule with a soft stick, and have a command of respect without being treated like an ASS or being an ASSS, right? I think some people have the mentality they want to fake it before they make it, and that's okay. But let's not have an attitude that says, hey, I'm better than you, right? Let's not have that kind of attitude. Well, okay, so that's a great question. So success depends on income, luck, motivation, generational wealth, or geographical location. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say no. Because you see, income, you can be the most intelligent person in the world, and you could be broke. You could be a person that didn't go through college, and you could be the wealthiest person. Luck is a possibility, but we create our own luck. You see, we derive the things in our life that are going to bring us what we want. There's something called a RAS, and I've talked about this before, a reticular activating system. So our reticular activating system was put in our body when we were born. If I said to you right now, and you're driving this color car, let's say you drive, I don't know, you drive a red, whatever it is, or you drive a white BMW, what have you. And so if I say to you, gee, are there a lot of white BMWs? And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many. I just got one a few weeks ago and I couldn't believe how many there are. Now, if I'm driving a gray one or a teal blue one, I'm going to say, well, no, there's a lot more teal blue BMW or whatever because my mind is focusing on that. So what we focus on, from Earl Nightingale, is what we become. So success, luck, we make our own luck. Okay. Motivation comes from our why. If our why is not loud enough, I don't care what you want to do, you're never going to do it. Generational wealth is good, but generational wealth can also be depleted. I've seen lots of people that had generational wealth and they're broke because they feel they're entitled, because they feel their parents had this, so they should naturally have it. Well, that's great, but you have to believe in it. You have to focus on things. Geographical location doesn't really matter because you can make money no matter where you are, any part of the world, using the internet and doing different things. So it doesn't matter where you are. But again, it is your belief. If you do not believe that you're going to make money, you're going to be broke your whole life. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I try very hard with IF Whale. IF Whale's been out since about late last year, and we just started doing some motivational. And then I decided in December to make this more of a series. So I launched a program, and IF Whale made a series, Inspirations for Your Life. And I actually launched something for the Christmas holidays from the 1st to the 21st. So just before December 1st, I went to the dollar store and I bought 25 different gifts for myself. And then I wrapped them. Why? Because I wanted to create something. I'm actually in the process of writing a book, 25 Gifts of Inspiration to Change Your Life and everyone else that you care so much about. So there was the first thing, let's say, that I gave myself. I'm just going to pick it at a range. One was a trash can. So I unwrapped this up and I said, gee, what does Spirit want me to do? It wants me to, says I'm trash. No, it doesn't mean that. It's trying to tell me that I need to get rid of certain people or things in my life. Sometimes people are in our life for a reason. And so people believe, like just like this friend I had several years ago, I thought he was meant to be in my life for my entire life. But you know what? People are meant to be in your life not for the reason you think. They might be there for your whole life. They might be there to teach you a lesson, or they might be there for a short term. This person who I was good friends with, and then we kind of drifted away, I learned one of the hardest lessons that I didn't think I could ever learn. And that was the fact that arrogance is not solely what brings success. And when you have an attitude like that, or when you're condescending, or when you, let's say, treat people rudely, like we'd hang out, we'd go to bowling, we'd go to dinner and stuff like that. And he always would have this attitude. I'm like, well, I'm just going to say his name is Brian. That's not his name. Hey, Brian, the lanes are all busy. We got to wait. Oh, I don't want to F away, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I don't have time for this. I drive a blah, blah, blah. I do this. I make about how many $1,000. I said, yeah, they don't care about what you make. They don't care about what you drive. We have to wait just like everybody else. Why don't we just go get a burger? I don't really want a burger. I said, well, I'm a little hungry. Can we get some? All right, we'll get a burger to shut you up. So we go to get a burger, and two of us are hanging out, and there's this lady at the end of the table, and the two of us are just hanging out, guys hanging out, and he kind of blows me off totally, like I'm not even there. He's talking to this girl, and he's really rude to me. And the end of the night comes, and we get the check, and I said, "Oh, they didn't charge me for my soda." He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's because you're with me because I drank so much." And I was like, "I don't know if I'd be so proud that I drank so much." So he got into a lot of trouble. Where we kind of ended was he tried to lie about something that I did that I didn't do, and because of that, he tried to bring repercussions against me. And although it seemed like it was going to stick, 6 months later, he got the big end of the stick, not because of me, but because he lied to all these people, including the law. And so he realized that you can't spend money to fabricate a case or to make somebody seem bad when they're good. So you know what they do? If they can't buy enough people, then they just want to blow out and just get you out of their life. Because when this kind of person is wrong, one thing I learned many years ago is I may not always be right, but I always try to do the right thing. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. And so when this happened, he would never apologize. And so after all these things he did to me, for about 2 or 3 years ago, I kept hoping that, I'm just calling Brian, his name's not Brian, that he was going to apologize. And I remember when he was moving out, not too far from right where I lived here in the neighborhood, and I was outside, and he had some friends helping him. His friends were really nice, and they said, "Hey, your neighbor's a really nice guy, yada yada." He's like, "Yeah, don't talk to him. He's trouble." And I didn't know what to say, but I was like sitting outside, and he literally like rammed his stuff that he was moving out like into the chair I was sitting in. And he's like, "You're always in the way." And so I didn't challenge it, didn't say anything. I just felt bad for a while. But I realized that the reason that the creator had put him in my life was to show me that I had the ability to overcome this negativity. And I don't know if anybody here is religious. I'm Roman Catholic, but I prayed. I prayed day in, day out. And I said, "Look," I said, "I haven't done anything wrong. Please save me. I haven't done anything. I haven't harmed or hurt anybody." And by having faith in the power of God, everything blew over. And I lost this friend, which I really thought we were going to get back. But then I realized after 2 years ago, I don't think I want this friend back. And I wanted to bump into him to say, "Hey, would he just say like, hey, John, look, I'm sorry I put you through all that crap. I didn't mean to do that. I was just in a rough time in my life, and that's just how it was." But I now know that he's not going to apologize. Even if he bumps into me this year, next year, a few years from now, he's probably going to avoid me. And he's probably not even going to say hello to me. And that's okay. Because as long as you know that some people in your life are not there for a permanent reason, they're there to teach you a lesson. They're there to teach you a lesson. I encourage everyone to please check out Believe, Believe, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. Every single day, we have a master topic. So this whole topic ends today about why some people don't want to succeed, series, episode 7. This is also broadcasted on the local TV. But tomorrow, I have a brand new topic that I'm going to be talking about for the whole week. I really am very grateful and thankful for all of you coming out here tonight and watching this, and also the replay. Check out John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur. Check out all the stuff on the BelieveMeAchieve.com, TikTok, John's Daily National Day videos, which has some inspiration in them. I have a science channel. I have a super motivational channel. I have JCM Academy about business coaching. But everything I do has a lesson. So even the science experiments have a lesson to how we can improve our lives. Because the main reason I live every day is to become a better version of myself and help everyone else become better versions of themselves. I thank you so much again from the bottom of my heart for you guys watching me and coming out here. I hope you have a great rest of your morning. I will be back, later tonight with another great topic. I hope you'll spread the great word about this. And I hope that I have encouraged people to dig deep, because you have so much potential in your life. Just tonight, I was reading something, and something that I just started to believe in. I started to get the skills about how to do something. I didn't even know how it was possible, but something started to click in my mind. And you see, that's how our brain works. When you believe it, more pathways open. All right, I could talk to you guys all night. Have a great rest of your night. And I'm going to be back tomorrow with a whole new master topic. Take care, everyone, and have a great night or good morning, depending on where you are.